Hi everyone, my name is Memo. This is my channel, Houseplant to Goodness, and essentially it's a place where I like to geek out about my big passion, which is tropical houseplants. And yeah, basically, if you guys want to come along for the ride, that's a really good idea. Hi everyone, my name is Memo. This is my channel, Houseplant to Goodness, and essentially it's a place where I like to geek out about my big passion, which is tropical houseplants. Now, you might be able to see some of my collection behind me, but today's video is going to be a repot with me, essentially, and a bit of a chat. I'm going to be repotting what's in front of me, which is a mango that I've sprouted from a seed, and I'll come up to that in a minute. But if you do like this video, do drop a like down below. It does really help me to understand the kind of content that you guys like to see, and I can create more content like that. Also, if you've got any video suggestions, drop them in the comments down below. I'd like to hear them. And a lot of the times I do actually take some of those suggestions on board and create videos based on what my subscribers want. And talking about subscribers, if you like content like this, generally speaking, and you're getting into your houseplants, or you've got a houseplant collection and you want to geek out with me a bit more, do consider subscribing as well. It does really help to kind of grow the community that we've already got. It's becoming a decent small community in the comments. People commenting, they're having discussions amongst themselves, and everybody's helping out with each other's houseplant collections. But enough of that. Let's dive into what I want to talk a bit more today and have a look, which is repotting this mango that I grew from seed. And if you want to know more about the kind of process when I first started, that's on my Instagram. And my Instagram, I'll put the name up here and I'll put it in the description down below as well. If you're not already following, do consider becoming a follower on there as well. There's content that I post on there that I don't always post on here, and vice versa. So with this mango plant, essentially, it's been growing quite nicely. Grew quite nicely last year when I first potted it up. It grew quite quickly, more so than I was kind of assuming. Then it really slowed down to pretty much nothing over the winter, but now it's starting to kind of sprout up a bit more. I'll bring it in so you might be able to see on the camera there. I don't know whether or not that's going to pick it up right in the center of the crown there. But I know that the pot is starting to come out through the bottom, and I know the pot is probably a bit too small for it at the moment, so I thought I'd repot. Now, I could go for one size up, and that is just barely one size up, but I think what I will be doing today is actually going up to that size, so maybe a size and a half up, essentially. So what I always like to do with when it comes to repotting, if I don't have a soil mix ready, is I'll create another soil mix, and you might be able to see here a bucket of my chunky aroid soil mix, and there is a video on my channel that you can have a look at and how I create this. And the other good tool that I like to use is, obviously, if I've got a plastic trowel, it could be a spoon. A lot of people just use a regular spoon to mix it all up, but I'm lucky enough to have a plastic trowel, so I use that. And then this little scooping trowel thing that I got from Amazon really wasn't that expensive in terms of Great British pounds. You're looking at maybe between £3 and £5. Well worth the investment. I have used this to death. So good one to consider getting. And then I might speed up certain bits of this as well, because you don't necessarily want to see me pouring soil mix into a pot. But I'll also chat through it, essentially. So what you want to do always is get your soil and make sure that you've got a good base layer at the bottom of your new pot, just so something that the plant can then sit on. And generally what I then like to do is see the other plant with the pot. If I put it on top of that, you can actually see the plant in its existing pot is slightly above the new pot, so I've maybe put a bit too much soil there at the bottom, so I'll remove some of it so it sits just beneath the lip of this pot, essentially, because otherwise you're going to have to struggle to water. And if I put that in now, you can see that, yes, it's kind of underneath that soil, that top line of that pot. So what I'll do is I'll then take this, I'll turn it upside down. You squeeze the pot a little bit just to release some of that roots. And obviously, because it's a chunkier soil mix, it should be a lot easier to then bring out this plant. I'm trying to do it without ruining the roots at the bottom, but I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. It's attached quite considerably there. And if I pull it out without damaging too much or stressing out the plant, do it gingerly. If you think you're going too fast, slow down. And you can see this is quite a wet mixture because I've only recently watered it. But you can see there's some decent roots. I can also see potentially there was some rot that happened at some point in the past, but that's fine. There's still quite a few healthy roots, and you might be able to see what the root is like on that plant. I don't want to move it too much, but this all started obviously with a mango seed. So just make sure that you're utilizing as much of that soil as you've got there, bringing it all out again, and then just make sure that you're topping up with some of that new soil. I'm just going to remove some of this old soil purely because it is a bit dense, and it's always a good idea to leave some of the original soil in with the pot, with the plant in the new pot, because it doesn't shock the plant quite so much. Apologies for having to lean down, but that's where I've got the soil mixture at the moment. And if I just continue to fill in the soil there, what will then happen is you'll then get a nice kind of layer of growing media at the top. So what I see a lot of people doing is compacting these plants down when they transplant them, but no, the best thing you can do is make sure that you've got a good hold of the plant and just tap the side of the pot, and it will move the soil into the right location. I will be tapping this down ever so slightly just to keep it upright, and I can see that it's wanting to lean ever so slightly, so what I might do is just put a little bit of a support stick in there. Bear with me for just 1 second. Okay, I'm back, and I've got a little support stick. If I put it in the middle there and kind of move it a bit so that it's not kind of straddling the plant too much, but it's actually hitting the bottom of that pot, so we can give it a good support there. Attach, I like to use those long roll of planty Velcro, I like to call it. I think it's meant to be for tomatoes. But yeah, there you go, a repotted mango plant. And essentially this, the more you water it in, the more the soil will kind of fill in the spaces in between the plant. I might just add another tiny little bit of the growing media, just so it's got a decent layer at the top there. I want to still leave a bit of space at the top, just so that when I water it doesn't kind of flood everywhere. But yeah, essentially that is how I repot this mango, but pretty much all of my other plants as well. So hopefully this was educational, maybe a bit enjoyable. It's a bit more of a chat with, but this plant was obviously a bit of a trial. I got a mango with, I used to do a HelloFresh subscription, and there was something that came with a fresh mango and it had a seed, and I'm just like, you know what, let's do a quick Google. How do you sprout a mango seed? And I thought, why not? Let's try it. I did, it worked, and I've got a little mango plant. I know this is probably never going to become a fruit-bearing tree, but it's got a nice little story behind it, so I like it. It's kind of special. Some plants like that, when they've got a bit of a story behind them, it makes them all that more special, essentially. So yeah, as always, I hope you enjoyed. If you've got any questions, comments, drop them down below. Hopefully, I shall see you here soon. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks. Bye.